Big news in the world of old media this morning. Time magazine named Elon Musk its Person of the Year for 2021. Notice where I said that this is actually big news in the world of old media. Because do you care? I certainly don't. But if I was trying to make this a big deal, I'd tell you that the title puts the Tesla and SpaceX CEO and esteemed company of 14 presidents, 3 popes, civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., among many others. And this is how the magazine describes the futurist CEO, which was, not surprisingly, read on MSNBC.
There's a man who aspires to save our planet and get us to a new one to inhabit. Clown, genius, edgelord, visionary, industrialist, showman, cad, a madcap hybrid of Thomas Edison, P.T. Barnum, Andrew Carnegie, and Watchmen's Dr. Manhattan, the brooding, blue-skinned man god who invents electric cars and moves to Mars.
The Person of the Year, much like People's Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive, is the kind of feature that the media seems to live for. A tiny group of media editors get together and decide who they like, and the rest of the media picks up on it and treats it like it's important news or gospel. Now, let me be clear. I love a list as much as the next guy. But can't we stop pretending like the choice is actually symbolic of something? Now, maybe there was a time when this mattered a little, back when Time Magazine mattered, back when Time and Newsweek were the most important weekly magazines, and I was, well, a young man. Yes, a long time ago. When being on the cover of Time meant something, people saw it, it had impact. But I'll admit, today I was surprised on how many media entities still picked up on the random decision of some people who happen to work at a dying magazine brand for what is now just a yearly clickbait opportunity called Time's Person of the Year announcement. This coming from an entity where a lot of their decisions, even over the past years, have just been dumb or not even people. Middle Americans were Person of the Year in '69. The Computer took home the title in '82. You, or individual content creators, were named Person of the Year in 2006. Look, Musk has made all kinds of headlines this year. This fall, he became the richest person in history. SpaceX was selected to build the next lunar lander and later launched the first all-civilian space mission. But in 2021, also, the National Labor Relations Board found that Tesla violated labor laws, threatening workers for attempting to unionize and firing an employee leading the cause. The electronic car maker also lost a racial discrimination suit, now faces 2 separate sexual harassment lawsuits. Look, I am not trying to beat up on Musk here. In terms of influence, he is a perfectly sound choice. But the editors take this decision so seriously, as if we should all take stock based on their important choice, and the rest of the media is buying it. While doing their rounds today, the magazine's editor-in-chief and executive editor both stressed that Musk's selection was merely the start of a wider conversation.
This Person of the Year, it's not an award. It is simply a measure of influence. And Elon Musk has influence on our lives for better or worse.
Like it or not, so much of our lives, even in this moment of incredible inequality, are being shaped by these very wealthy tech leaders.
This is a choice that's kind of meant to spur some conversation, and hopefully it spurs conversation about the kind of growing gap between the rich and the poor.
Wait, so now it's a politically motivated selection? Look, I don't care who they choose, but it seems to me the lemmings in the media, all treating this like some big event, makes me, well, it makes me want to bring in my guest, one of the most prominent and respected media critics in the country, Eric Deggers, TV critic for NPR. Eric, good to have you on the program. Appreciate it. All right, am I being unfair here to the Time Magazine folks?
Man, first I got to say, I'm glad you said nice things before you brought me on. I hate to work at Time Magazine, given what you just said. Well, I will say I'm of 2 minds about this. I agree with a lot of what you said, and in particular, this New York media's infatuation with Silicon Valley CEOs and wealth. And, I feel like a lot of Elon Musk's impact has yet to be determined. The things that people are touting him for being influential about, we still don't know yet. We don't know about driverless cars. We don't know whether his brand of electric-powered vehicles will become widespread enough to really affect Americans' lives. We don't know if he's going to put together a mission to Mars that will be successful.
But you're analyzing this. But you're analyzing this as if like this is a big decision. It's an important decision. It's a larger than life decision. And I guess, and you're now giving me the specifics of why maybe it was premature. And my point is, why do we care at all? I mean, and I understand. Look, I get why Time Magazine does it, right? Bravo to them. Bravo to them on getting all the clicks, et cetera. But why does the rest of the media continue to buy into this? Magazine covers don't matter anymore. No one sees them. Time Magazine's a dying brand.
First of all, you got to understand the value of having something that sums up the year in one easily digestible idea. That's what the Person of the Year does. And so it's Time's way of saying, here, we're going to tell you what's important that happened this year, but we're going to sum it up in a look at this one person, this one thing, this thing that we're calling a person. You know, you talked about Middle America and other things. So that's what's really happening here, right? You're getting a year-end analysis that is really sort of disguised as an honor placed on a person.
Right.
But beyond that, I want to make a quick argument. I want to make a quick argument for it to say that this is something that they started doing in 1927. And as much as you want to make fun of, for example, them choosing Middle America, you know, Richard Nixon was elected president the year before of that in 1968 by appealing to Middle America and talking about the silent majority that was upset by the civil rights legislation and advances that had been advanced by a Democratic administration. And so Middle America was a potent political force at that time.
But I'm not mocking Middle America.
We say that's a good idea.
But I'm not mocking Middle America. I'm mocking not even picking a person at the time. But you know what? I don't even care about back then, right? Let's even assume that it had relevance back then, because it did. Time Magazine mattered. My point is, considering how irrelevant Time is today, why does the media still pick up on this as if it's 1999 or 1968 or 1983? I would think that you would be able to join me in agreeing and saying, now that I think about how comparatively irrelevant Time is and their picks, and that we can agree that there's sort of a who cares element to this, and there's way too much media coverage of this. You disagree?
Again, you are missing my point where I said this is a convenient way to sum up what happened in the year in one person. I mean, you know, if it wasn't a Person of the Year, there would be some other analysis that would, you know, tell you what happened in the year, what the most important thing was, what the most notable person of that year would be. I mean, it makes sense to me that a magazine would do that. Does it mean that it's earth-shattering news when they do it? Not necessarily, but you can use that pick as an excuse to have discussions, just like the guy from Time said. And, you know, it does provide fodder to talk about these things. Now, what disappoints me is that I feel like sometimes when Time makes these choices, they don't actually have that discussion. They leave that to other people. The stuff that Joe Scarborough was reading, the text that they were reading about Elon Musk, I just, really? Can we get a more substantive analysis? I think it's possible. And I think the idea has some merit, but I agree with you that sort of treating this as, you know, earth-shattering news. No, it's not that, but I don't think it's totally useless either. I don't.
All right. Well, Eric, I'm hoping in the years to come that you will start to agree and say, as years go by and Time becomes more irrelevant, that maybe Abrams was right. But you know what? In the meantime, this man, as I said, is one of the best and most influential. That's why we appreciate his time, and I appreciate you coming on the show, Eric. Great to have you.
Thank you. You're talking to a brother who has to generate a lot of year-end pieces, man, so I sympathize with the folks.
Fair. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.